So this is Brittany Watts of Ohio, and I talked about her story back in November, the end of November. She is being prosecuted for how she handled a non-viable fetus after she had a miscarriage. She miscarried a non-viable pregnancy into the toilet, and now she's facing a felony charge. It is not it's not up to debate whether or not she's the one that harmed the fetus. She's being charged with abuse of a corpse. And basically, after Ohio voters voted that women in that state should have reproductive rights and choices, this is kind of their workaround. They're trying to assign. They're trying to assign different rights to fetuses through these types of laws, and that is the reason why they're coming at this woman. I have already talked about this, but this is what happened. She miscarried in a bathroom at home after she left the hospital. She was there at Mercy Hospital waiting for 8 hours, and she decided to leave and go home and allow the process to happen. There's no point of contention about the viability of this pregnancy. At the bottom, it says, when Miss Watts first consulted healthcare providers about her bleeding, she was told that her water had broken prematurely and the fetus she was carrying was unviable. Still, the doctors had to grapple with complex legalities on how to proceed with her 22-week pregnancy in a state with very strict laws. So that's where we are today. Prosecutors decided that yes, they need to take this to court, that they need to make an example of this woman and how she handled this non-viable fetus. I saw this in the Washington Post. This was from a couple of days ago. Prosecutor urged to drop the case against this woman. Medical and legal professionals are rejecting the claim by an Ohio district attorney that he lacks the power to drop the case of an Ohio woman charged with abusing a corpse after she miscarried at home. A prosecution that has drawn national attention to the ways women can be criminalized for pregnancy outcomes. Trumbull County Prosecutor Dennis Watkins, a Democrat, released a memo last week saying his office is duty-bound to follow Ohio law and present the felony abuse of a corpse charge against Brittany Watts to a grand jury. Watkins' office said he would not be making further comments beyond the memo while the 9-person grand jury continues to investigate. The jury is expected to vote in the coming weeks on whether or not to indict Watts, who has pleaded not guilty. Ohio Physicians for Reproductive Rights on Friday wrote a letter responding to Watkins, calling claims that he is obligated to present the case troubling. While you may believe you are duty-bound to proceed, you are in fact under no legal obligation to do so, as has been widely publicized, and as you well know, but choose to ignore. The principle of prosecutorial discretion is well established in both federal and Ohio law. The OPRR cited a June 2022 letter signed by more than 90 elected prosecutors around the country, including Cuyahoga County prosecutor and Columbus City attorney in Ohio, who pledged to use their prosecutorial discretion to pursue serious crimes rather than enforce abortion bans or criminalize personal medical decisions. Crimes at the felony level are handled by Ohio's county prosecutors, who decide what cases to present to a grand jury for consideration. Just as I would not prioritize prosecution of any abortion-related misdemeanors being floated by the GOP state lawmakers and anti-choice activists, I would encourage county prosecutors not to present abortion-related felony cases to a grand jury. Basically, what is going on, it just seems like women are under attack. And this is just another way that women are being forced into something. I don't know, we're being made examples of. And you cannot tell me that her being a Black woman didn't impact their reasoning for continuing this case as a felony charge. So this bottom part right here says, we're talking about a health matter, a sadly common experience where there's no law that says how to deal with the remains of a miscarriage at home, says Sarah Ainsworth, the Senior Legal and Policy Director at If, When, How, a nonprofit of lawyers who advocate abortion rights. At every point, a prosecutor has the power to put the brakes on. So if there is no law that describes how to handle the remains, imagine what this is going to do for normal women. More women should be outraged about this or kind of scared about this, because if they can come for this person, what's going to happen to the next? Miscarriage is a normal part of the process. This happens to quite a few people all the time. So what is going to happen? Are we supposed to start funeralizing remains? Are we supposed to, cremate remains? What is the process? And how are you going to criminalize and put a felony on a person before there is a law that has been established? Tracy Timko, Watt's defense attorney, said during a November hearing that her client was being demonized for something that goes on every day. Watts, who has no criminal record, faces up to a year in prison and a fine up to $2,500 if the case moves to trial and she's found guilty. She has no criminal record. Why are they coming for this woman? They are coming harder for this woman than they come for criminals that have actually harmed people. And this is a mess, and people should be outraged. She and her team does have a GoFundMe out there available. It's under Justice for Brittany Watts. Please do understand that there are some people out here trying to capitalize and take money away, siphon money from the people who are trying to actually donate to her. Someone from Justice for Brittany Watts made an update earlier this month saying, "It has come to our attention that fraudulent accounts have been created under the same name. We have reported those other sites. The last thing we want to do is stifle the support Brittany is receiving, as she is incredibly grateful and empowered by each and every one of you. To be clear, the organizers here are Brittany's close friends, and Brittany has sole access to the funds. She was listed as the beneficiary on the account. Keep Brittany in the spotlight, and protecting others from public scrutiny is the reason the organizers chose a group name. Any questions directed to the fundraiser, though, through this site, go to Brittany's attorney, Tracy Timko. She has and will continue to reply to any requests seeking verification of this account and assurance that Brittany is receiving 100% of the funds. Please do not donate to Brittany through any other source. Thank you for the outpouring of love and support." And like I said, I spoke about this before. We're going to keep talking about this in stories that impact women, because if we don't, these prosecutors and politicians and these zealots, these anti-choice zealots will continue to come for women. So we have got to keep talking about this and keep voting against this. We have got to vote. We have no choices. All right, you guys go ahead and weigh in. Make sure to like, comment, and share. Share her story some kind of way. If you're a content creator, create your own story. If you're not, just share the links. And I will put, you can find her link. You can either Google it. If you're on my YouTube page, it'll be in the description. All right, thanks, y'all.